Like our business model is by design unsustainable. Within 15 to 20 years, the world will be free, everybody will have food, and our primary business offering will be of no value because everybody will have food. You know, that's our goal, is to work ourselves out of a business.
Thank you for watching Dro TV. We are back again here at Galt's Landing with my friend Jim Gale. Jim, tell us a little bit about this pond here. This thing is incredible.
I've always loved water. I grew up on a lake in Shoreview, Minnesota. They called me Nature Boy growing up, and I was always knee deep or neck deep in the water. So this pond, this whole area was a pasture about 2 years ago. And we had to dig this pond for rainwater catchment for the development, and we also had to dig it to use the material to build our land up about 2 meters or 6 feet, 7 feet. And so this pond is about 27 feet deep, and we stocked it with 7 types of fish. We've got sunnies and crappies and bass and catfish, mosquito minnows, fatheads, and shiners. We also have snails, and we're going to be putting crayfish in as well. So the pond itself is going to be an incredible productive system for food and nature and beauty and all the other stuff. We're also putting bird habitat around the whole pond, so it'll be just a bird sanctuary. We'll be attracting so many ducks and geese, and then if we want to have duck or geese, then we have them right there in our yard. Now here's one of the neatest elements. I've built many hydroponics and aquaponics systems. So we take the water out of the pond. We have a solar irrigation automated system. So we take the water out of the pond and we fertigate, which means to fertilize and irrigate all of the food forest, fruit trees, and all of the gardens around the pond. And again, it's automated. So what will happen is the fish manure water will go in to feed the plants. The plants will grow faster and healthier and more productive. As the fruit drops from the plants, then it goes into the water, and what eats those fruit? A lot of insects eat the fruit. What eats the insects? The fish eat the insects. So it's a self-feeding, incredibly productive and beautiful system to the max.
Yeah, it's truly amazing just to see this whole place, what you've created here. Can you talk about some more kind of off-grid solutions that people could go today, right now, look up, find, and buy and start using?
Well, there are so many different ways to approach that. You want to capture rainwater immediately. No matter where you are, if you're in a state that doesn't allow you to, you should even do it for more reasons. So capture water and store water. Store water in your landscape and in barrels. So if you can get a rainwater catchment system, then you can get a filtering system. You can drink rainwater is better than most groundwater nowadays. And so that's a first step, is catch and store water. The other way to do that is to build swales, which are simply ditches on contour on your property at the highest locations. Or better yet, ponds. Ponds are an incredible asset that, like I mentioned, have many different functions. But you want to store the water in your landscape, because then if you go through a time of drought, you have an abundance of water. The other thing is multiple types of energy systems. You want to create your own energy. Now, the best way to have a housing system is to design the houses so that you don't need to create as much energy. That's number one, and our current system doesn't do that at all. So build your houses so you might have a deciduous tree, which is a tree that loses its leaves in the winter. You might have that deciduous tree on the south side of your house here in the northern hemisphere, and then in the summertime it gets full of leaves and it creates shade. In the wintertime, the leaves fall off and the sun hits your house. Right? There's so many different ways to do it. So food is a no-brainer. Get a permaculture design and start turning your whole landscape into a food production system. And then, so yeah, food, water, and energy self-reliance. And then one of the most important aspects of self-reliance is community. You want to make sure that your community, that you're aligned with your community. Know who your neighbors are. Know the ones that are supportive of mandates, which is force and violence, and know the ones that are supportive of freedom. You know, if anybody says to me, you're on the wrong side of history, I just ask them a couple questions. Do you support force and violence? And they'll say whatever they say, but the difference is very simple. The difference is they can be who they are, and I will never use force and violence against them. They will use force and violence against me. If you are somebody that believes in the use of force and violence, then you're on the wrong side. You're on the dark side. So let that go, have faith and courage, trust in nature's systems, and you'll lose that fear that compels you to advocate for those force and violence systems.
Let's talk about how easy it is to grow food. A lot of people can be overwhelmed, especially if they see this and they see this, massive place at scale.
Yeah.
Talk about how easy it is from simply going to your grocery store and just getting foods with seeds in them.
Well, first of all, I've never grown anything in my life. I don't have the ability to grow food. What I do have the ability to do is use the permaculture designs and design systems that build soil. The soil and the food together, that's what creates abundance. So like I said, if you want to start with $20, you can go to the grocery store and you can buy a bunch of fruits and vegetables, and hopefully they have seeds. A lot of them now, they've had the seeds genetically modified out of them over time and adaptation. But get some fruits and vegetables with seeds in them, and then go on social media and type in, how do I grow apples from a seed? How do I grow tomatoes or cucumbers or squash or zucchinis or pumpkins or whatever it is? And you can actually start your own food forest without the financial resources, but simply with a little bit of resourcefulness. You can start your own food forest. If you want to speed up time, that's when the permaculture design process is so valuable.
And I can attest, a year ago I started my journey. I got a food forest blueprint, and based on that blueprint, I've been able to now incorporate over 40 different fruits, vegetables, fruit trees, and I'm on my way with my food forest. And I knew nothing a year ago. I knew nothing.
That's so bad. The blueprint is the start. Like when you want to build anything great, you want to start with the design. And that's what permaculture is. It's a design system. So we find out what the land will support, what zone the land is in, and then what the individual who stewards the land, what do they want? What do they desire? And then when we start laying out what's possible, that's when people get really excited. When they don't realize that they can have 40 or 50 or 300 different types of food, flowers, beauty, abundance growing on their property, then it's the most wonderful thing that I could ever imagine doing with our land, and that's creating the Garden of Eden.
Where can someone get one of these blueprints?
Yeah, foodforestabundance.com is our entity, the entity that we manage for humanity, and then also anybody in the permaculture world. Permaculturalists have the answer. There are a lot of great gardeners out there that focus on annual crops, and annual crops are great. If you want a food forest that you could literally walk away from, and it would just keep producing more and more and more even without your input, that's what I advocate for, because I don't want to be having to tend to gardens every day. I just want to walk through the garden, the perennial garden, and just eat free food all the time.
How long is the strategy session available for free for?
Forever.
Forever.
Our intention
Okay.
is to offer this service for free for humanity until the point at which we've got so much food growing everywhere. Like, our business model is by design unsustainable. Within 15 to 20 years, the world will be free everybody will have food, and our primary business offering will be of no value because everybody will have food. You know, that's our goal, is to work ourselves out of a business.
Amazing, amazing. Contrary to typical corporation or corporations, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we very much know that billions of dollars will flow our way. You know, BlackRock, the biggest parasite on our planet, and its subsidiaries did $21 trillion last year. And what did they do? They invested in the corporations that are centralizing power and destroying and poisoning our world. BlackRock is not just the name of the entity, it's the intention of the entity, which happens to be run by a computer, by AI, named Aladdin. And this is, even Google doesn't dispute this fact. You can look all this stuff up, it's the real deal. AI, BlackRock, that is, I believe, our enemy in this game of life that we are playing. And then there's two possibilities. One is to inspire that entity logically to simply invest in things that create life instead of destroy life, right? Because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a betting machine. The other is to get people to come in and to invest their fiat. Fiat must be composted. Fiat is shit, and it's based in debt or death. When we use that shit and we turn that into compost, we can grow the Garden of Eden out of the current system. And then the current system will completely be gone. In fact, it's probably going to be gone pretty soon anyway.
We can hope.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Dro TV. If you're inspired by Jim Gale and our series demonstrating freedom, then schedule your free strategy session today with Food Forest Abundance by clicking on the link below and start your journey. As always, if you have any questions or need any help, please feel free to reach out to us on social media, as well as Food Forest Abundance. That's it. Let's get growing, everyone.